Welcome to the From Concealment Podcast, the show for firearm enthusiasts who like to shoot, train, carry, and compete. Get ready for some shooting and sight, firearm and accessory reviews, and of course, insight on conceal carry. And now, broadcasting from behind enemy lines in the From Concealment studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams.
Hey, Freedom Nation, this is Pete Mitchell.
And I'm Dan Sams.
And you are listening to the From Concealment Podcast, which is being brought to you today by FastOC.com. Yeah. If you're in Southern California and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to get some training in, or gosh, man, I'd really like to do one of those handgun challenges Pete's always talking about, head on over to FastOC.com. Check them out. I'm always at the trainings. I'm always at their challenges. They are lots of fun. You get to shoot fast, you get to do all the stuff you can't do at a normal range. So there you go. That's the reason why you should do it right there. Dan, what's new with you, man?
Oh, man, getting over a cold, so my voice sounds way more awesome today. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, though, because I think it makes my wife more attracted to me, but then she's like, I don't want you to be near me. And so it's a really tricky thing.
It's the curse of the cold, no doubt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so today we got a fun little episode because we're going to be talking about, what is it, best gift guns? Is that what you're calling it?
Gifts related to guns.
Gifts related to guns.
I got everything related to stocking stuffers, medium-sized gifts, and full-size amazing guns. I mean, we basically. I
think you can do an AR-15 pistol as a stocking stuffer. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'll be the first one to say it.
It will fit in a stocking. In fact, not just any stocking. You could get a nice tactical stocking. Have you seen these? We carry these at Lake Erie Arms. I'll bet you could get that thing in a tactical stocking, man.
I love it.
Totally good.
So that's what we're going to be covering on today's episode. But of course, a nod to what is going on today. The day that we're recording is Supreme Court is finally hearing the case between. What was it, the New York Pistol Association or something like that, and their crazy transportation law, which basically said you can only take your firearm to the range and back. You couldn't technically stop for coffee. If you went anywhere else, you swung by a friend's house to pick them up, well, that's technically a violation of the law. And, of course, New York, you have to have a license just to own a firearm, which I don't understand that one at all. Nope. I mean, what are you going to deny me? So you're just basically taxing me to have a firearm. That's not right.
Nope.
And, I guess, I got a version of that here in California, though we're not quite that bad yet. It's probably just because California didn't realize, oh, hey, this is an idea we should give a try.
They just haven't thought of it yet.
Yeah. So in reading what's going on the internet, of course, most of the websites are liberal, and they're all basically saying, hey, it's not looking good for the gun rights people. They're coming down. But all those sites are liberal, so who knows? I don't know what that means.
These are the same people that are like, Hillary is surely going to win, and it's a joke that anybody's running against her.
Yeah, pretty much. So who knows, man? And we won't know until maybe July of next year. So and I still envision half the court sitting there going, look, we already know how we're going to vote on this thing, so why are we even here? So that's kind of how I envision it.
I think you're probably right. People are going to vote. The Supreme Court's going to vote in accordance with what they want to do, not necessarily in accordance with the law, and we're going to be fighting the same battle for a long time. And I'm starting to believe the rumors that Ruth Gaynor Ginsburg, whatever the heck, however she says her name, I'm beginning to believe that she is in fact a Terminator. Yes.
Because I still can't believe she's moving and walking. I mean, I literally was like, oh man, maybe she won't be there. She's in the hospital. Nope. She leaves just in time to get there for oral arguments.
Yep. So she might be a Highlander. And
good call.
That's the best. That's my theory for both her and Keith Richards, is that they're Highlanders in their respective fields. And so every time a Supreme Court justice dies, she experiences the quickening, and she's here with us a little longer. And the same thing happens to Keith Richards. That one I am 95% sure is real. Like Keith Richards, man.
Every time a musician dies, he gets their power. I like it. It.
Keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. So we'll keep you guys in the loop as we hear more. But I don't expect. I actually expect to get a lot of emails today from like every gun rights group out there saying, "Oh, this is what happened." But who knows? I mean, maybe they're all kind of scared too because I haven't started to receive those yet, and I believe oral arguments are over. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh man, we will see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about some fun stuff?
I do.
Lighten the tension while we're waiting on the news.
I think we should talk about all the guns that we are still going to buy, even if they make them illegal, because if that happens, it's Boogaloo time.
Right, man. Bring on the big igloo, man.
Dude, did you see that picture I Facebooked you today? I'm like, Boogalooga Nation's 1776 or something.
Boogalation 1776. Yep.
I was dying.
Let he who hath no yeet cannon sell his Xbox and buy one.
Yeah, that was great.
That's awesome.
I liked it.
So good. So, do we want to talk about some of these gifts we're going to be suggesting?
Yeah.
Now,
yeet cannon is number one on the list. I don't know.
I still want a yeet cannon. I don't care what anybody says. I still want one.
I would like to get a yeet cannon only because I want to put it, like I told you, in California, you have to list your actual firearms on your concealed carry weapons permit. And I want to have them say, you've got a yeet cannon. And I just want to go in 9mm.
Heck yeah. It's funny. Like we're joking about these guys. But man, we've made fun of High Point for so long. I have to admit they're stepping up their game some. They're not anything major, and then they're getting all this buzz over the yeet cannon thing, and more power to them. I hope they keep improving their firearms and keep getting creative with their marketing. I just think it's hilarious.
What kills me is so one of the local, chain gun shops here in California. They had their Black Friday sale, which obviously just happened this last week. And the cheapest gun, of course, is a High Point. And I want to say it was going for like $139. And I kind of want to go buy a gun that only costs $139 because you can pretty much do whatever you want to that gun because what do you care?
Yeah.
It's $139.
Well, as a truck gun or just an extra. And the thing is, the guys doing a lot of the reviews on these, they're like, they still go bang. They do okay. I think Demolition Ranch did one on, this was before the yeet cannon. He did a video on just the standard High Point. And he's like, we make fun of this. He's like, it works. He's like, it wouldn't be my primary carry gun, but he's like, this gun functions, man. And he, of course, does his thing where he's beating the crap out of the gun and it's still firing.
I think I saw that one. Yeah. He's driving over it with a truck and everything.
If you were broke and you needed a gun and $130.
Well, that's the thing is, man, I was at this establishment picking up one of my guns one time, and there was a guy so here's what happens in California. We got a 10-day waiting period, which we refer to as our 10-day purgatory. So apparently this guy's purgatory was up. He was there to pick up his firearm. When you pick up your firearm and you don't have a CCW, they make you go through a little safety thing. It's nothing big, but you just basically got to demonstrate that you know how to put a round in the magazine, load the chamber, empty the chamber, all that kind of stuff. And I remember both of them trying to make the High Point rack. And I was like, dude, I would not want that as my gun. But I know the reason why the guy got it because I could just tell by looking at him. He got it because it's freaking dirt cheap, next to nothing. That was why he got it.
That is the gun that used to be guys would buy a High Point to rob a store. It was that and Mossberg 500s that were the guns that everybody had for robberies. I don't know that that's true anymore, but that was, my buddy used to work in evidence, and he was like, yep. He's like, we're gonna look at everything used in armed robbery, and it was it's either High Point or a Mossberg 500. Really? No offense. Yeah. He says, because it was just so cheap, And a guy who doesn't know much about guns, he goes in, he's not planning to even shoot it. He's planning to use it And so, he buys his High Point. That
but does he not realize they can trace it back to him?
That's a good question. Yeah. Well, if you're getting out of the place, guys who are robbing convenience stores are not exactly Einsteins. You're paying $150 for a gun. You're going to go in and you're going to hope that they have $100 in the cash drawer at the time that you rob the place. Right. So anyway, crazy times.
Sure.
So so I say we put that number one on our list. That doesn't mean that it's our best gift, but we're going to put yeet cannon on the list for our Christmas.
If you live in a free state, because again, here in California, we can't buy a yeet cannon unless we get it off roster, in which case usually you're paying 2 to 3 times over retail, which is ridiculous for a yeet cannon.
Oh my, yes. Yeah. If you've been spending $600 for a yeet cannon.
That's not going to happen, right? It's never going to happen.
Man. That's awesome. Yeah. Pete, you guide others to a treasure you cannot possess.
I know.
I'll respect you for it.
I do.
So, hey, a few things I'm going to suggest, because I think when we talk about gun gifts, people go right to guns, and we are going to talk about some good gun gifts. I know there's some headaches and things when you're buying a gun for somebody else. There's some things you got to deal with if you're going to do it, quote unquote, legally. But
just do what the ATF did with Fast and Furious. That's all I'm saying. They didn't buy gift cards. They just gave the cartels guns.
I loved the thing when they tweeted about, be sure to get gift cards. And somebody's like, is that what you guys did with Fast and Furious?
I know.
It's like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
But a couple of easy things. I know we've talked about the tactical pens. Great gift, great stocking stuffer for anybody.
I will say that I've actually got 2 of them here. I've got I bought this one because I figured I could get on the plane with it a little bit easier because it doesn't look as menacing.
Tactical.
But it's still a tactical pen. That right there is still the windshield, whatever you call it, breaker. But I can stab someone with it. And then this is the other one that you pointed out. Beauty right there.
Which just looks cooler. Yeah.
It does, but I'm afraid I'm going to get stopped going through TSA.
So here's the thing. I feel like it's cheap. I have flown now, I want to say 4 times with that. Nobody's ever stopped me.
Really? Because it's a pen. They're just looking at it going, it's a pen.
They've never even looked at it cross-eyed. I'll run it right through my carry-on, no problem. They stopped me for a bag of suckers, which they never explained. But they're like, we got to see. It looks like there's a big bag of suckers in there. I'm like, yeah, there's a big bag of suckers in there. They check it. They're like, there's a big bag of suckers in there. I'm like, yeah, no crap, man. And then they're like, well, you can go. I think
they're like, it's not a liquid. It's not a liquid.
I think they wanted me to give them some suckers, and I'm like, hey, sucker, I am not giving you a sucker. You are not a friend to me. So anyway, tactical pens. We already mentioned the tactical stockings. Some basic stuff you can always get for a gun owner is cleaning gear, rem oil, cleaning kit. The Remington rem oil is great. All that kind of stuff. Ammo. Pete, you got any suggestions here that you want to jump in? Just think stocking stuff.
I would just say you actually here in the state of California cannot buy someone ammo. So that one actually would have to come off our list. It is now illegal if Dan Sams were to be here in California and buy ammo and say, Pete, I want you to have this as a Christmas present, he would be committing a felony in that move. So,
and that sounds like fun. I need to get over there. You do that for you.
You got to come visit your brother.
I know. You know what? We need to get together, you and me and my brother. I need to fly.
Your brother's really close to a really great outdoor range, man.
Is he really?
Yes.
Nice. Well, and he's military, so he should be able to.
Is he?
Yeah. He's.
Do you have more than one brother? I don't know.
No, I've just got the one. But my brother's in the military. Is the guy who works for Warner Brothers. He's a reserve Army guy. Yeah. No, I only have one brother. One like by blood brother that I know of. It was a long-standing joke that like my sister made up some brother that we must have, that she pretended we have, and then my dad would just pretend like that. Yeah, he's the one we didn't love, and that's a terrible joke, but it was a true thing. They made a big. I never actually had a brother.
I was actually watching Dateline. It's one of those shows that I set the DVR just to record it if it comes up because they usually have really good stories. Mm-hmm. And so I got to tell you real quickly that I'm watching. I don't know if it was a couple of weeks ago because I didn't watch until like a week later. So this girl takes a DNA test because her mom is adopted, and so she's like, I don't know much about my my ancestry on my mom's side because she was adopted. And so she takes his DNA test just to find out some stuff and, uploads it to one of the sites and then, decides like, oh, I'm going to try this other site over here. And she uploads her results over there and it comes back. She's got a match and it's a sister. Well, a half sister. And she's like, what? And so she literally talks to her half sister on the phone, ends up this half sister her dad was a Vietnam, a soldier, had an Amerasian kid, didn't even know it. Like they were doing the math and he was like, oh, she must have gotten pregnant about 6 to 8 weeks after, or, he left about 6 to 8 weeks after she got pregnant. But so he never knew he had a kid. And so she's like telling her dad, she's like, hey dad, I've been doing the DNA stuff. Turns out I got a half sister. And he starts laughing and he starts to think, oh, it's your mom, right? Some other relationship your mom had. And she's like, no, dad, I got a sister and it's yours. And she's Vietnamese. And all of a sudden he like starts doing the math in his head.
Oh no.
And apparently he just starts crying. He's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, and it was actually a really cool story. And
that is kind of cool.
His daughter's, 46 years old. And so he flies over there to meet her and they want to come to America. And because of, everything that happened, all these soldiers had Amerasian kids. Congress passed a law basically letting them all into the United States.
Wow.
And, back then you just had to like look it and now they need DNA. Well, they had all the DNA. And so anyway, now they're living and she's got a family. Right. And so he's like, now I got another grandkid and a son-in-law and, and all this stuff. And they didn't even know. It was a really cool story. I really like it.
That is pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
I'm still not going to have a DNA test done because I don't trust what happens to all that information.
You should not trust that. Yeah.
And we already know the government's like trying to get access to it. So I'm like, I'm not doing a DNA test. But all my freaking relatives, if they do it, it almost doesn't matter if I do it. I'm still going to be like,
oh yeah, I know. My parents have both done it. So like, yeah, I'm screwed.
You're totally, you might as well do it then. Screw it.
Yeah. Well, and I was honestly kind of hoping we'd find some like unique diversity that like, well, way back, somebody came from China and somebody from Africa. No, man, like the little heat dot that they do. Right. Like for both of my parents is like right over like, the UK. It's like, yeah, you're just basic regular white people. And I'm like, okay. Cause like, you hear about like, there's all these like terrible racists that when they take them through the thing, it turns out that they're like, 33% African-American and it's the best. And it's like hilarious. Like, I'm like super diverse in all my friendships and everything, but I come down to like, yep, regular white guy.
Just like, regular 100%.
That's interesting. Guy. I'm like, all right. Like, anyway, so hey, we got to talk more about these gifts. So we're going to run.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Please.
No, this is awesome, man. Hey, a couple of other things. I don't know if you've seen these AR-15 wall mounts. All it is just and it's really, man, talk about a stocking stuffer. I think there's something like $15. Drill it on the wall and it latches in just like you're popping the mag in there. Really great gifts. AR-15 mags, man. I know out there, harder to maybe deal with some of the standard capacity things depending, but man, AR-15 mags, $9, $10, great stocking stuffer, and you never can have too many.
We have to get 1030 mags for those of you in free states. That's a 30 round magazine that only holds 10 rounds, and that's how we have to do it. Now, back when we had Freedom Week, that was the week that you could buy standard capacity magazines. And of course you could manufacture your own standard capacity magazine. So it might've been during that week that I dropped out the little plastic insert and put in the 30 round spring. And all of a sudden my 10s became 30s, but I only did it during that week. I've never done it
only during that week.
I didn't need to do it after that. I had so many.
Nice. That's awesome. So of course, AR-15 mags, Glock mags, some good electronic ear protection, man. I don't know if everybody realizes the electronic ear protection that filters out all of the, high decibel sound, but allows for talking voices. Man, that's a great gift. Always good stuff there. Anything else you would add in kind of the stocking stuffer level, Pete?
I think you really hit on it there. For me, I like a little. Oh man, what's it? What's the brand? I'm trying to think of the Barisol.
Barisol? Yeah.
Is that the can of the green can? No,
Barbasol?
There you go. That sounds about right.
Yes. Oh, you're talking about the shaving cream.
No, not Barbasol.
No. Aerosol. You're talking about hearing protection.
Hold on. Balisol.
All right.
There, if I'm pronouncing it correct. But I love that stuff. I use it all the time when I clean my firearms.
Oh yeah,
the barrels.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good little cleaning lubricant. Everything all in one can. Works great. Love that stuff. So that would be a great stocking stuffer for me personally. That always, and then on the more expensive side, holsters, man. I got more holsters than I will ever use, but that's because I'm always trying to find the perfect holster, and it doesn't exist. So I keep chasing it.
Well, this is what I had in the medium gift range. I was going to recommend Alien Gear Shapeshifter System. Have you seen these Alien Gear holsters?
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it.
So the nice thing about Alien Gear, it's one holster system that's everything from your appendix carry, your outside the waistband, inside the waistband, your clip it to the inside of your dashboard, every kind of holster system. And then it's $100, but you can do like anything with it. And then if you ever want to change, let's say, you go from your Glock 19 and you switch over to a Walther PPQ, you can just get the shell for the Walther and attach it to the rest of your holster system. So you don't have to like replace that whole holster system. And so whatever holster you break in, you're getting used to, you can use it with theoretically any caliber. Huge fan of Alien Gear. And I will say now at the gun store, we carry other holsters, but that's what we sell the most now. People come in, they get that, and the whole game of like trying this holster and that holster and figuring out which one you like better is gone. Once people end up in the Alien Gear, they, other than like some, specialty little side things, they pretty much never need another holster again. Highly recommend the Alien Gear. And it's a great gift because no matter how they like to carry, that's part of the system. Go for the Alien Gear, and it's the shape shifter system, man.
See, have you used it personally?
I got to admit that I haven't, because I kind of have a holster that I love. And
my big fear with that is it looks like such a big system that I'm like, how much real estate is that thing taking up? I mean, that's been my concern. It just looks so big to me. And that's
you mean when you're storing it, or
inside the waistband holster? Yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
Because I usually use just a basic Kydex holster. Mm-hmm. That's it. Nothing else. Maybe I'll use the Brave Response holster. But again, that's just, it's not very much. There's not a lot to it.
Yeah. Well, so far, I have not had anybody complain about it due to size.
Okay.
Really, the only complaint we've gotten is when somebody's like, well, I wanted to use, because it's essentially a bunch of holsters that comes together, and they wanted, a different, essentially it's not Kydex, but they wanted a different Kydex carry part on all of them. So he was essentially thinking he was getting like 10 holsters. And I'm like, dude, that's not what it is. We never thought it was. But nobody's complained about size on those things. Okay. But I'm with you. My personal carry holster is a piece of Kydex with a clip. And I found one that works, and that's what I carry all the time. So I haven't needed to jump to Alien Gear. But man, I just have to admit, everybody I know that's using it is kind of swearing by it. So
nice.
Not a bad one, especially as a gift. That you're getting them something that they're gonna be able to use. You want to talk some full-size guns, man, that we could recommend here?
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to tell everybody, if you really want to, and I know that depending on your particular laws, you can never go wrong with buying a good old-fashioned Henry rifle. Everybody likes a lever-action Henry rifle, always good fun. That's one of my top picks, especially Christmas time as a gift. It's an heirloom gift. Thinking about a Henry rifle, and depending what you're getting, you're in the $500 range. You're not spending crazy money, but you are getting a gun that whoever you get it for is going to have it forever. Highly recommending.
And I would also add into that everybody should have a 4570 in their in their safe somewhere.
Yeah.
Nice little lever action 4570. I don't have one, but I want one really, really bad.
You know what you need to do? You need to get yourself the Henry rifle in the 4570.
Do they have that? I don't know that I've seen that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they have that.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a beast. But they've got that. And then think about getting in a lever action Henry rifle in a 22 LR or even a 22 Magnum if you want to step it up as a really great gift. That's a great way for kids to learn to shoot. Get it in a 22 Magnum, man, and they can actually do some small game hunting with it. I mean, they could do that with the 22. But you can get matching ones, man. Awesome gifts. Father-son gift. This is what you and Luke got to do for this. Just father-son.
I think I almost got to go with father-daughter gift on that. I think my daughter's going to be the shooter in the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen, speaking similarly then, have you seen these Cricket My First Shot guns?
No. Huh.
So they're a single shot. Now, it's not something that's going to grow up with them. So you got to know that. It's a small rifle that has a double safety, and it is a single shot. So, I mean, you load one at a time and bolt action, double safety on it. So pretty much they can't shoot it unless it's been manually loaded and then they've sat down and they've got to turn both safeties off. It's designed to teach a small child how to safely shoot. But they're made small for like a small kid's hands. Nice. So if you tried to shoot it, like, some of them have a thumb hole. You can hardly get your thumb in there. I mean, it's tiny, but they're really reliable little guns. And Cricket is the company that makes them. My First Shot is the name of the gun. And they make them in like pink and purple and, blue. And they're made for kids to learn on. And they're something like $125. They're super cheap.
I've never shot a 22 Magnum. What's the difference in feel between the 22 LR and the 22 Magnum?
So now these I think are all in 22 LR, just to be clear.
Sure.
Although you could probably put a 22 short in them. I wouldn't be surprised. 22 Magnum, just a little beefier casing. And my experience is they're just a little bit more consistent. Maybe it's just because I was shooting it out of this amazing Henry rifle when I was shooting it. Pack a little bit more punch. It's pretty much the same size round coming out of that, but a significant amount more powder behind it. And a little bit more when you're buying, the ammo, but it's still cheap ammo. It's still 22. But a great round. Back during the ammo shortage a few years ago, we used to have real issues finding that. It's not an issue anymore. But yeah, as far as recoil, you're not feeling hardly anything different, but you're just putting a little bit more punch behind that. My experience seems to be just a slightly more accurate round. It's just getting there.
Nice.
So, yeah, man.
Cool. I dig it.
Yeah, man. The other thing we could think about is maybe some 80% lower jigs would be a great gift. 80% lowers for us in the free states.
And I believe, well, you can still buy that stuff here in California. You just can't turn it into a firearm without telling the DOJ.
Oh, that's right.
So,
yeah. So
like I said,
man.
I got a stockpile of 80% lowers that are not. They're still paperweights as far as. Well, they are paperweights.
Yeah.
So period.
Yeah.
I'm leaving them there until the Boogaloo.
That's right, man. Then we'd be ready.
Then I'll convert them.
So I don't want to take too much time on this, but as we are thinking about gift guns, I'm going to think about the gun that somebody's not going to get themselves, but that they really want, right? And maybe you got to get a gift card or whatever. That's fine. But something like a Q Honey Badger or a Bad Tanker, one of these just like beautiful over-the-top guns that's beyond what you really need, but it's amazing. Highly recommending something like that. Man, a Q Honey Badger, I know I can build a really cool gun that's going to be pretty close to that for a lot cheaper than I'm going to buy that thing. But there's no way I'm going to be able to perfectly duplicate that particular gun. So, man, I'm telling my wife, I'm like, I want a Q Honey Badger, right? So it's an over-the-top gift, but it's amazing. Highly recommending that. Or something.
What do those go for out there? Because we can't get those in California.
I think there's something like $3,000 or something.
Okay.
And that's the thing. It's not crazy money, but it's just like, okay, I can build a pretty nice gun in 300 blackout, and I can put a pretty nice trigger in it. And I'm probably, if I really go out, I'm going to probably spend maybe $2,000 tricking the thing out, right? So I'm like, and then but there's going to be these little subtle things that are not going to be on the level of the honey badger. It's going to be just as good, but it's not going to be as cool. Does that make sense? So go to the next level. If you want to buy somebody a crazy good gift, cue honey badger. In that same realm, I think I mentioned the bad tanker. Thinking about a few of those guns that people are unlikely to buy themselves, but that are really cool. Those are some good ones. So you just buy the gift card and you say, listen, this is an amazing gun. Or you just buy the gun and you give it to them because ATF can suck it.
Well, definitely they can. And I would say that
hopefully that doesn't make that, hopefully we didn't lose any G rating on that. Sorry.
No, that's not a bad word. I would say here in the glorious state of California, I would love if someone wants to get this for me as a gift. I personally want a Glock 48. That's, for me, something I really, really want. Problem is you can't buy it from a dealer in California. You can only get it private party, which means you got to buy it from a Leah, which means you're going to pay 2 to 3 times retail.
Yeah.
Which is why I haven't done it yet. So my wish list would be Glock 48, Glock 19X, and Glock 45, all of which you can't buy here in California through a dealer. And that's why we got to buy them through private party.
All right.
From a cop, typically, because they can buy anything they want. I mean, that's how you know it's tyranny. Government can buy anything they want, and then they can turn around and sell it at 2 to 3 times markup to the public. I mean, it's such a sham. It's ridiculous. And that's totally legal to do.
It sucks, man. I'm sorry. They're messing with the free market. I'm really hoping our wives listen to this episode because they're going to know all of our wants. And then you know what my wife's going to do? She's going to buy me ammo, which I'm still thankful for. But
my wife buys me gift cards for the shop, and then I can go use the gift card at the shop.
You know, this is a great time for if somebody's listening who is not an avid gun user but wants to buy some gun gifts. And I know you mentioned you can't do ammo out there, but for the or at least as a gift. But I'll just mention, find out what your friends' calibers are. Most people have a 9mm. So even if you don't know, 9mm 22 long rifle, almost always a good idea to buy ammo in that. 223 is another one. If you've got an AR, it's most likely going to fire 223, maybe 5.56, but 223 is going to work in both of them. So if you're thinking about gift ammo, 22 long rifle, all that kind of stuff, good ones. But it's even better to just find out what they shoot. Ask about their guns. Make note of it. It's a good one. Or in my case, my wife can just go into the gun store and talk to them, and they know what I have. So I need this ammo.
My theory is this: if you buy someone ammo for a caliber they don't have, now they're compelled to go buy a gun to match the ammo they already got. So go buy whatever you want.
Are you saying you want some 45-70 for Christmas, Pete?
Dude, I really do want the 45. It's ever since I saw Wind River, I've wanted that gun.
Yeah, man. There's something I got to tell you. There is something for the use of around the house and defense and all that kind of stuff. I'm all about my modern guns, right? But as far as going to the range to have fun, your Henry rifle lever actions and your old school single action cowboys are about the most fun you can have.
Yeah.
Other than maybe full auto. That's when I get together just to shoot, we do some practice and whatever in the regular modern guns. And then we might end up spending the most time shooting this, shooting the old fashioned stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a 45-70.
I do.
I think it'd be awesome.
I do.
Any other gifts we need to throw into this thing?
No.
I think we've got a pretty good list.
Yeah. I think it's a great list.
Good list. Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, let me give my last plug, especially as we're talking about Christmas gifts. Pretty much everything we mentioned today, I know you can get from LE Arms. Maybe not everything, but just about anything. Check out LE Arms. We are in the midst of our big end of the year sale. Great time to be getting stuff. So check it out. Visit learms.net, and we will see you soon.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Take care.
You've been listening to the From Concealment podcast with Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams. Be sure to tune in next week for more gun talk. Also, check out the From Concealment website for more shooting-related goodness at FromConcealment.com.